My presentation is a bit short, and I thank my senior. He has saved us some time. I will also save some more time for the sake of my next colleague. So what I want to discuss with you is actually the relationship or the coordination between institutional bioethics committees and the institutional biosafety committees. So what we are trying to do in KEMRI, because KEMRI is a research institution that is charged with the mandate of conducting human health research. Now we've introduced elements of GMOs or gene drives. So it's very important that we save time also for our scientists as they are conducting their research. So I will give brief information about, okay. Good. So I don't want to repeat about what genetic biocontrol technologies are doing. It is continuing to emerge. And again, this leads to some worries or doubts about the protection of human health as well as the environment. The environment in this case, and I was glad when Meshach was giving us a presentation about One Health approach, we are not going to approach this in isolation. Animals, humans, environment, and everyone in the ecosystem is involved. So ethics review committees, I know they have their own role of protecting human beings who are enrolled in humans, in research. And I know institutional biosafety committees are focusing on the oversight of research that are involving GMOs or gene drives or anything like on genetic biocontrol technologies. And at the end of the day, the goal is to protect human health and the environment and the entire ecosystem. At KEMRI, again, we have another committee called Animal Care and Use Committee, because we have some projects that are using animals. So it is very important that these animals are handled in a humane manner. So I know they are not humans, but we need to handle them in a humane manner. So unfortunately, in Kenya, there are no frameworks, and I know in many of our African countries, there are no frameworks that link the functions of all these committees, despite having the same goal. Despite having the same goal, there are no protocols that are linking them, all of them. Most of our committees have interacted with Animal Care and Use Committee. I'm coordinating research regulation in KEMRI, and I've interacted with Animal Care and Use Committee. I've interacted with Institutional Biosafety Committee. I've interacted with Ethics Review Committee. Most of them or all of them are doing those particular purposes. Number one, they have to review the protocol, research protocol that has been developed by the PI. They have to evaluate it, and also they need to review and approve. So I know they might reject it, but I didn't want to indicate rejection here. But protocol approval is part of their mandate, and then monitoring and inspections. For the clinical trials, I know Pharmacy and Poisons Board, an equivalent of the FDA in Ghana and many of our countries, they might do some GCP inspection before approval of a protocol, but at the end of the day, everything surrounds monitoring and inspection or audits. Most importantly, again, all our ethics committees, all our animal care and use committees, all our institutional bioethics committees, they are supposed to be conducting some education and training to their scientists. So this is a brief information about what KEMRI is doing. As I indicated before, it's a state corporation that is mandated by law to carry out human health research. And we have 15 research centers in Kenya. And these 15 research centers are distributed across the entire country. They're in different parts of the country, and they are conducting research in different programmatic areas and also in different disease areas. As I indicated before, research regulation in KEMRI is coordinated through a unit called Scientific and Ethics Review Unit. That is the unit that is coordinating all the research. That unit, again, is linking with the national regulators. Remember, KEMRI is a research institution that is implementing research. They are not regulating research, they are implementing research. So we are linking with the national regulators like the National Commission for Science, Technology and Innovation. We have the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, an equivalent of FDA in Ghana and any other place. And also we have the National Biosafety Authority that was established in the year 2009. So as I told you before, KEMRI recently established an institutional biosafety committee. We are now in the process of seeking accreditation and as well as the training of the of the IBC members from the NBA. So there are concerns that we are receiving from our scientists, various concerns. One of the concerns that is coming up, and I think Jonathan raised it yesterday when he was in the panel discussion, is the issue of multiple review committees. You can imagine having around 6 committees that are supposed to review your protocol. By the time you try to implement your protocol, the funding is gone. Or if you are competing for participants, like in clinical trials, you find another country has already completed recruitment of participants. So, and the problem in Kenya, these committees are sequential. This one completes, and then the other one, and then the other one, and then the other one. It is not done in parallel. And then this will lead to delay in implementation of the project. And there's another concern about also the extreme verdicts. We are pulling our researchers apart. We have the verdicts that are extreme, and maybe this committee is saying something that is different from the other committee. At the end of the day, the scientist is left wondering what is happening. So what we are doing in KEMRI is to bring together all these committees so that we address some of those concerns that are addressed earlier on. Under that unit of the Scientific and Ethics Review Unit, the one that is coordinating and regulating research internally, we have the Ethics Review Committee, we have the Scientific Committee, and then we have the Institutional Biosafety Committee, we have the Research Integrity Committee, and most importantly, the Animal Care and Use Committee, all under one roof so that we can help our scientists. So I have a very busy slide on the requirements of membership in Kenya, but I will not go through it one by one. But I just post that slide so that we can see we can as well work together. The requirements are almost the same. The requirements are almost the same. What we've done in KEMRI, there are some members who are serving in IBC, at the same time serving in ERC, at the same time serving in ACUC, Animal Care and Use Committee, because requirements are more or less the same. While NBA is talking about the chairperson being an expert, and Acosti, or our regulator, is talking about a chairperson having some leadership skills and research ethics. And then our NBA is also talking about having biosafety officers in the committee, also talking about having 2 scientists in the relevant field. If it is entomology, we have entomologists in KEMRI. Also talking about having representatives from the technical staff. We've managed to make sure that our newly established IBC has all these requirements. Number six in that particular slide is talking about representation of the community. We've been discussing stakeholder engagement from the time we began our pre-conference courses. NBA in Kenya is insisting on having representation of the local community, while the ERC also must have a layperson or somebody who is non-scientific, whose interest is not in science, whose interest is not in GMO and gene drives and all those things. But in terms of numbers, again, we have some requirements. So what I was trying to say in this particular slide is that it is possible for us to work together. It is possible even to share some membership. Areas of synergies. When I quickly Google the word synergy, it is telling me it means cooperation. It is telling me it means interaction. It means working together. So how can we work together? At KEMRI, we've tried to unify the research regulation and coordination system. We have a common secretariat that is serving all the 4 committees, and then this secretariat is supported by the institution, and it will help in triage or preliminary review of an application. Again, another area, we know we are in Africa with limited resources, so many needs. So that we can compete with all these resources that are available, we need to share them. Let us share the basic things like boardroom facilities, equipment, and other resources, as well as the finances that we have been allocated. Again, what we've done is to make sure that we have an efficient record keeping for each protocol. The last time I checked, or before I came to press, I noted that we have more than 5,000 projects in KEMRI. So all those 5,000 projects, we need to monitor them. We need to coordinate on what is happening. So the filing system is very important. Instead of having a filing system for animal care, another filing system for ethics, another filing system for IBC, why don't we have one and then we classify differently? We classify differently. One registry, one archive, and then we classify separately. And then correspondences to PIs. I was telling you about the way we can confuse our researchers. Correspondences need to be coordinated. Correspondences need to be synergistic. If we are working together, because I know that our clients, the PIs and the manufacturers on the other side, they're really interested in what we say. So it is good to communicate in a coordinated manner from one unit or one coordinated area. And then reporting to authorities. Most of these authorities across Africa and every other part of the world, they require reporting. It can be quarterly, it can be semi-annually, it can be yearly. So once we are working together in our institutions, it is possible to make a coordinated report that we can send to our regulators. As I indicated before, we have common activities of all these committees is to monitor, to inspect, to audit these particular ongoing studies. So it is very important that you coordinate, work together, so that you can even have one checklist with different sections. Section 1 is talking about protection of humans, ethics. Section 2 is talking about protection of animals, animal care. Section 3 is talking about genetic biocontrol or something like that, GMOs, so that we can have one checklist that is covering. Wherever it is not applicable, we mark it as not applicable. We have a wide scope of monitoring. Continuous joint capacity building efforts. I know it's very important that we train our ethics committee members, we train our ACUC members, we train our IBC members. Why don't we organize a joint capacity building? Yesterday, again, this issue came up of concurrent and joint parallel reviews. I know in Kenya, we did it for emergency protocols during COVID-19. There's a clinical trial that was approved by the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, NACOSTI, and Ethics Committee at the same time. So it was approved in a record of 15 days. So it is possible that if we can have concurrent reviews, so that we can even track the version, it will be a matter of the PI to track the versions and the comments that are coming from different committees, but it is being reviewed at the same time, jointly, so that we avoid we minimize the possible lost time. Just to acknowledge African Genetic Biocontrol Consortium, KEMRI, and a few of other members that helped us in developing this guide. Thank you, sir.